All right, so in Philippians 2:10 it says, and that the name of Yeshua every knee should kneel, of those in heaven and on earth and under the earth. And King James has it as that in the name of Jesus, every knee should bow, of the things in heaven, things in earth, and things under the earth. So very similar. Etheridge's translation and King James are very, very similar. All right, so let's scroll this down a little bit.
There it is.
Yep. So when the very first word, we have the word Shem. This is name, right? So the name, but in front of it, we have a dalet bet added to the prefix, and then we have the hey on the backside. So this is already letting us know that the name is going to be bringing forth revelation, the door into the inner man where we build ourselves through the bet of the 222 path, going through the fire, the consuming fire that is purifying, and the living waters, teachings that will bring this revelation. So of course, we're not going to see it in English, right? We just think it's name. But I also find it's interesting that Dalet Bet in the very beginning of this word means, if I can highlight it, means bear. This is the word for bear. And so if you remember Ken's dream that he had and the poem he wrote about the revealing that there was a bear in the river, well, it's Mother Bear as the gatekeeper to be able to go upstream, because that representation through the word meaning bear is the gatekeeper, because we have to go through Mother first before we go through Father, because we have to have the golden rule and we had to tame our beast nature. And she's not going to let you pass if you haven't met the golden rule, because you're not safe. You're not safe to be able to be entrusted with the greater measure. And so we've got Mother Bear right here connected to be able to get us to the revelation that comes from the Father, which is his esoteric teaching, the deeper things, the word. And then we have Yeshua's name here. And again, another perfect example that we have the Dalet in front. So he was the door that would bring forth that which would deliver us in our time of need. So again, like we've always said, or Ken's really done a good job on this, and I agree, this is a frequency. Yeshua's name is a frequency, that which is bringing to deliver you. And when I did a breakdown on it, it's beautiful, because it comes from the word Yasha, which means to deliver in the time of need and deliverance, but it also is from the root word that means the rock. So I will build my church, those who are the witness and the testimony, not a physical building. We've covered that before. Those that would be a witness and a testimony, I will build them upon this rock, which was literally the name, his name, in his name. And why is that? Because he came to present the vision that we need. He first had to be the door to say, you need to go into the inner door. I stand at the door and knock. He's talking about our inner man. I'm bringing you a vision that you need to purify yourself with, go through the altars of purification so that you can be connected within at your heart level and understand and know the purpose, so you can find the fountain of living waters within you that will give you the eyes to see. It's beautiful. So that's pretty telling on the very first two words, but it isn't just about Yeshua. It's about what the frequency is of what he came to bring to teach us as the door, the Dalet, that brings the revelation that will deliver us from our beast ego nature, so we're marked in unconditional love. Hence why Mother has to present it first to build the golden rule through the 222, to get you the Father's revelation so that you can do this process of self-deliverance. It's awesome. Then we have the word every, which is also the same word for bride in Aramaic, and it means to be whole and the totality of all. And the kaf has got the dagesh in it, so it means it's filled up, right? Kaf A, they've been yoked and tamed to the language that brings them the revelation. They were pierced, because that's literally what the dagesh means. If you look into it, it also means to be pierced. So they've been pierced within, and they're filled up. They filled their cup up through the teaching shepherd of light that came to bring them the message that they needed through the language as the bride. Love that.
Yes.
This is Baruch, which would be, at the top of my head, would be blessings.
Yeah, it is. Awesome.
So, but let's take a look. I need to do another screen share here for you. Because again, like we've talked about, everything's layered, right? You've got a transparency
Yeah.
at the top. And honestly, Aramaic was first. It's the Asherit Katav, the Queen's language, and it was actually around prior to Hebrew. And most people, so when people want to say that, well, Hebrew is the holy language and the Aramaic is the dirty or the common, it's like, well, no, not really. It was the one that was established first. And there are many sages within the Hebrew or the Jews that know, they said that the first set of tablets was actually written in the Asherit Katav, the Aramaic language.
So it's like a more primitive version of the Aramaic now?
No, it's not really. It's actually it's got a lot of the a lot of the symbols. So like if you go back and you trace the letters, and so you see like paleo meaning the Hebrew with the ox head. There are other versions that have come from that, but they're actually the older versions. If you take a look at the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, and I showed a picture of that, you can actually see it was written in Asherit Katav, and you could see the Tav Vav Tav, which was a different form. And that was a language that was prior than to what Moses even wrote in.
How do you spell that if I want to look it up? Because I don't know this. Asherit.
Asherit Katav. So if you're doing it through transliteration, it would be Ashurit, and then Ktav, Katav. Asherit Katav.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. We did calls. So then there's ni. The word ni. Well, that's quite interesting. If that, what? So we need to dig a little bit further because this is the word. So I'm seeing it as the word for blessings, and it's saying in Aramaic that it's the knee. Oh, I love digging this stuff out because sometimes I just get so like overwhelmed about how amazing what is being shared. Because that was a cough. Let's see what Jastrow says on this. I'm going to pull it up. I got to do another screen share so that you can follow along with me, though. I'm getting a little bit better about knowing when I need to screen share and when I don't need to.
Yeah, no, that's
Getting a little
awesome.
better.
That's me.
Okay, so I'm trying to look and see what they're presenting here. If Marcus Jastrow. And the only thing that I saw, okay, so they're not even giving us, this is crazy. They're not even giving us what that Hebrew word is for blessing, as you can see right here, Brock. They're not even showing it. I mean, they're showing it's a verb, but they're not even putting a definition in it. So their definition is coming from something where it's burucha, where they're saying is knee. Oh, how interesting. This is knee in a shoot. I'm wondering if that's connected then with the noon, right? To send
Shoot.
forth shoot, right? And this
Yeah.
is also saying something. Oh, I blipped out of there. I didn't mean to minimize it. I was just trying to
I
move
think there was
over.
a noon in it, wasn't there? Yeah.
Let me look.
A root. No?
No.
No,
And
there's
then
no noon in it.
and then the other thing, and people aren't going to see this because I can move your, well, here, I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to minimize our faces real quick. Something hollow and absurdity. That is really strange because in the verb form, it means blessings. Okay, I am seeing what's going on here. Okay, so it's something that is hollow and an absurdity. Let's go back to the verse and take a look at this here. So this is a knee, this is a knee, okay? And this is something that is actually a blessing, but people are going to see that it's hollow and an absurdity. But it really is that which produces a son.
Produces a son.
A bar, yeah. This is the word that means an heir to the throne. It also means bar, and it connects to Genesis 1:1 about the things that we feed upon, those that are pure and innocent, that are selected. That's what this is. So being selected as being pure and innocent because you fed upon the things that would pierce your heart through grasping a hold of the language that brings you revelation that pierced you. And notice, remember, it had an olive on it, and there is no olive here. So this means that anything outside of understanding the oneness principle is absurd and hollow. So this is actually telling us that through this, the word, through the letters, that if you go through the teachings, the things that are absurd and hollow will not be absurd and hollow, but you have to go through the process. And if you don't go through the process, you're just going to be empty. It'll be things that are in vain. They're going to be hollow. Wow. That is awesome. That is actually really awesome. I love it when the letters will tell you how to rectify the situation, right? So it's empty and hollow, but why is it empty and hollow? Because you didn't find the oneness principle. So until you find unconditional love, much of what you do is empty and hollow because the whole purpose is to find love. We came in, boy, tohu bohu, when we were sent in to fall into love to discover it. And so without the oneness, without the anointing, it's just going to be shallow. This is really cool. I love doing this stuff. Okay, bend, bow, and incline. Bend, bow, and oh, it's cough. Is that cough? Hold on. You aren't seeing this because I forgot to share. I got all excited and I forgot to share. So I'm sharing now. Tav. Okay, I need to take a look really fast. What is it? Wow. Okay. Okay. This is really cool. So this is what we're seeing right here. These letters is how we spell the symbol cough, right? It's a cough pay. And in Aramaic, it means to bend and to bow, which is the actual meaning that comes in with the paleo. So this is bending and bowing and submitting and taming and yoking ourselves so that we can incline, not decline, incline. So this is connected with us going up or ascending, and it's the kaf pei. It's through the open hand that grasps a hold of the power of the language, which again shows us that, oh, this is so amazing. I love this stuff. I get so excited. Oh, because it's like giving us a roadmap, right? So kaf pei. So here we have something that's empty, right? It's empty and it's hollow, but it's meant to be a blessing. But you have to go through the mother's teaching first. You have to meet, so remember Mother Bear? We got Mother Bear over there, the Dalit Bet. You have to go through her teaching to build love so that then you can get marked with her sign, which is the golden rule. You met her measurement standard. Then you are able to fully grasp the language, be pierced in your heart through the words that bring the revelation that give you power, because the kaf means power. Wow, that is so amazing. Now, okay, I got to go back here real quick. I'm not going to do a screen share quite yet. I just wanted to see kaf pei. Okay, so kaf pei, the word for hand actually means to bend, bow, and incline. Okay, I got it. So there we have the, let's see, should kneel. So they translated it as kneel. Etheridge translated it kneel, and King James did it as to bow. And it's actually grasping a hold of the language that will cause you to bow and incline yourself. This is so amazing. And then I know this one already. This is Shamaya. This is heaven. And look at this. We got the Dobe on the front again. The Mother Bear as the guardian to the Shamaya. So in order to enter into the calm waters above, the Shamayim, the Shamaya, we have to go through the door of the inner man to get the revelation to deliver us from our beast nature by building love, Bet Tov, which will be a consuming fire process through the living waters, born of fire and living water, where we are given power, because this is now on the suffix side. So this is coming from, well, actually it's Mayim in Hebrew. So it's the waters. The mem has got the mem Sophit in there already, right? You don't see it, but it's the two that have become one that give you the power that you need so that you can learn and be connected in the oneness consciousness, the Christ consciousness of the thousandfold anointing. But again, Mother Bear's there as a gatekeeper. And then we have the word Araya on earth. And this is my favorite form to talk about where we live. Because right smack dab in the middle of Araya is Ra. Now this word can mean evil or shepherd, companion, and friend. Duality.
Mm.
So in the place of duality, we are going to experience the evil side of things. But on the other side, to balance it out, there will be the shepherds that come, that are companion and your friend. And their job is to lead you into the pastures where you can feed. And that is the mother, who is one, and the father is one. And their whole purpose of the Araya is to come forth in humility and teach you how to build your temple through love, the 222. And of course it would be that way. And then we have the
I'm
word,
anxious to see what under the earth means
well, this is
in
Takat.
metallurgy.
So this is Takat, to be under. So we'll go in a little deeper here. We'll see what Aramaic is saying, but it does mean, Takat means under, and we'll go through those letters. And I'll share this with you.
Because they're, the lower narrative is the heavens, the earth, and under the earth, like there's a whole nother realm under the earth. What is there? What is it saying? And it is.
Well, what they're saying is, so in Aramaic, it is a Tav, Het, Yod, Tav, is how they're saying it. In Hebrew, the word would not have the Yod in it. It would just be the Tav, Het, Tav, Takat, under. And we can see that there's lots that is in there that it's morphed into. There's a lamed in front of it too. And this actually makes a lot of sense because of what it said about Yeshua going to the underworld. We'll connect that in a second, but we're going to take a look at what Jastrow says about Takat.
Because it doesn't seem like that it distinguishes between the dimensions, the chakras, all those things that so much of the new age is, everything's based on. I haven't made that connection yet with the scriptures.
Well, in actuality, you know what one of the big connections of the chakra is? The chakra
What?
system? The menorah.
Yeah, okay, all the sevens. Yeah, sure.
Because those are part of our light body. And then the center candle, the Shemesh candle, would be the place of the heart, would be our heart chakra. So you have the lower three chakras, you have the heart chakra.
But then Aliyah puts 13 of them. There's 13. The 13th is totally being with God in our heart center that's
right,
just below.
right,
Yeah.
right. And obviously what's interesting about that, what does the number 13 correlate to with the Hebrew gematria? Do you remember? It's okay if you don't.
You mean which letter?
No, what word has the
Yeah,
same
because it's not
gematria?
13, it's 30. Yeah. Okay.
13 is the gematria for ahava, love.
Oh, okay. Right. Right. Yeah, I remember you doing
So
the video on that.
that is why that place within us is the place where we get to be fully activated of unconditional love. It's where what we're being drawn to fully activate, but we have to first have our heart pierced. That middle chakra, the Shemesh candle, it has to be pierced first in order for the rest of it to be activated, so that then the 13th center place can be fully activated. So people that don't have their heart chakra activated yet, especially if they're operating, let's say, in like narcissism, because they totally skip it, they're never going to find that. It's not possible for them to, because you have to have all the other ones illuminated, hence the menorah. So in the under and the beneath, in the lower realms, what are we trying to take it to? We're trying to bring forth revival and resurrection, which I think is so fascinating, because what did Yeshua do, supposedly, that was written in the 3 days that he was transmuting his body? What did he do? He went to the underworld. And what's beautiful about this, under, beneath, the place of, under, because it's important that we take a look at the letters to see what's going on here. So in the place that's under, because eventually we're trying to get to the resurrection and dead. And if you remember what that showed, it showed 2 yods in the middle. So when 2 yods are activated, you have the vision of the mother and you have the vision of the father, and the 2 are within the center of your being. This is how there is no sting in death. That's just fascinating. It's not written here, but the yod is always a super important principle, because we were talking about that with the wise and foolish virgins, with the groom, that's the bride that comes to bring the yod to fill their oil to make them anointed. That's only one part. There has to be 2 yods in order to activate, to have resurrection ability to overcome death. But in this form, this is the under and under the earth. This is, and so I see this a little bit different, Regina, because I see this as, I don't know if I'm thoroughly convinced of having an underworld. I believe that we are in the lowest realm. I'm not saying that there's not something in the center of the earth. I'm not saying that Shambhala doesn't exist. I'm not even saying, because I haven't been there. I haven't been there in this incarnation, so I don't know. But I do know, based on what the language is, that we are living in hell. So what I see this to be is those that have strayed far away from anything in the spiritual path whatsoever. They are in the lower realms. They are on the outskirts. They haven't even taken the spiritual journey at all. They are in complete darkness. They have no light, whether it's been by choice or the light has never been brought to them. They are in the underworld because they are completely in the inverse of the inverse. They are so locked down in darkness that they can't even see light. But the beauty part of this is in humility, a door will come as a teaching shepherd of light, even into the lowest realms of the earth, to bring the mother's covenant and the father's covenant, because they have been totally set outside of the covenant. Because that's what Het talks about. It's the outside versus those who are on the inside, because there's a division. So the teaching shepherds of light are still going to come to present it to those that are on the outside of it, so that they have access. And how are they going to be presenting this? Well, they're going to have the mark of the mother and the father. So they're going to be coming in the golden rule. They would have already had that measure. So they'll make it a safe place for these people. Because some of these people have walked into gross darkness because the world isn't safe to them. So they have just chosen to completely go into this other area, because they're like, screw it, humanity is horrible, I don't want to have anything to do with it. But when the light comes and they see that there's safety there, because there's a measurement of mother that comes, they're also in the place of unconditional love. So this would be who I would consider would be the unlovable, the ones that have been the outcasts in the earth, the ones that people walk over the top of, the ones that aren't seen, the ones that are discarded. And right now we have this whole phrase about this, what is it called? Cancel culture? Or like we're just canceling people out and canceling their voice and canceling their accounts and making them as if they don't exist. And you were just sharing that a little earlier with minimizing and getting rid of Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
This cancel culture, these are the people that I'm talking about right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the teaching shepherd will come. And that is those of us that are going to be bringing forth this message. And we do it in the presentation of the living water teachings as coming as mother to them, because mother is very nurturing. And yeah, it's linear. She starts through the linear process, but she's still incredibly nurturing. And so these teaching shepherds are going to have the nurturing quality of having unconditional love. And they're going to present this to and as through their flesh, their earthly flesh suit. So these are going to be people that are actually, we're not going to be necessarily glowing. We'll be coming as just humble messengers to be able to bring this message to those that are the down and outers that have been outcasts. And we're going to be presenting the manna, because that's the same word for manna. Because why? Because we're coming as the shepherds to them, in the representation of being one with the mother and one with the father, because we're all here. And so in the place of duality, they've experienced a lot of evil, or what they've seen evil, because they've been cast out and they've been told they're unlovable. But that's not the case, because the teaching shepherds of light are going to know and see them. That's why they have unconditional love. And this is why there's going to be such a draw to the light, because the teaching shepherds of light are going to have such a different frequency about them. They won't be feeling like they're judged. They're not going to be feeling like they got set aside and they got canceled out and that they have no value. Because everyone has a value. And we shared the other day that everyone is the bride. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
So this is what this verse is saying. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's not forced. This is the beautiful thing. Is we're always like, oh, when Jesus comes, everybody's going to force and their knees going to bow. No, it's completely different perspective. They're coming to send blessings and to share love. That's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible.
What good news.
I know, right?
Yeah. Completely different than what we thought.
Yep, absolutely. That's why I love being able to see these truths, because it wrecks you. When you actually see it, it wrecks you, because
Yeah.
it takes the place that we were once at, in that judgmental position, and it pierces our hearts in such a greater measure that we can see the oneness, and we can see people as me being you and you being me,
Absolutely.
that everyone has value. And that's what this verse is talking about. And it's just that different perspective that we need to shift into. So being able to see it in the words like that just absolutely just blows my mind. And then it messes with my heart, and it just makes it expand every time I dig out a scripture. And it's like, can my body really contain the size of my heart? Because I don't think it's possible. It is beautiful.
It is.
Everyone's beautiful, and everyone has value.
Mm-hmm.
Even those that society has cast aside.
Mm-hmm.